We continue our journey to explore the ideas from the great book How to Reassess Your Chess by International Master Jeremy Silman. This time we will talk about and look an example about planning. If you will master the imbalances which we already discussed in the first two sessions, maybe let's take a quick overview. What are the different imbalances which we already discussed? I think this can be helpful, so you always be happy to discuss the previous things, so it will be deeper in your subconscious mind too. So we studied about the superior minor piece, pawn structure, space advantage, material advantage, control of a key file, control of a weak square, lead in development, initiative, king safety, and last, the statics versus dynamics. If you are mastering these imbalances, these positional factors about chess, and you will be able to use those factors, then it will make you happy, yeah, and it will help you to make much easier plans. Because actually, what is planning? Actually, like everybody think about planning time to time, and every of my students ask me about how to make a plan, or what's the plan in this or that position. And actually I can tell most of them what's the plan, or if I look the position, but I think it would be better to actually teach them to fish, instead of giving them fish. So teach them how to get an apple, or how to actually plant an apple tree instead of giving them apple. And if somebody knows how to use the different positional factors of the position, that actually, as you could see in the past examples, it gives you a plan how to succeed. Because actually, when you look at example, let's look at an imbalance, you look at an open file, that gives you the idea. Your plan should be to try to get the rooks on the open file, and then when you are on the open file, try to penetrate to the opponent position and start to capture the pawns. And that would give you another imbalance, like material advantage. And then you look, okay, you have material advantage, then you should try to exchange pieces, and then in the end, checkmate the king. So this is why it's really important to master these imbalances, these positional factors of chess, and how to use, if you have it's interesting how Silman got this name, imbalances. These are kind of positional factors, or advantages and disadvantages of the position, or the characters or the teams. So if you know, if there is a team, like example, like an isolated pawn, you can look how can you use it as your advantage, or if the opponent has it, then how can you defend against that? And that already gives you most of the time moves for the next couple of moves. It forms a plan. So let's look at an example first and look how these different imbalances work out in practice. So we will study a game which was played in 2007. This game is actually also from the book How to Reassess Your Chess by Jeremy Silman. It was played by ex-world champion Vasily Topalov against Indian Grandmaster Sasikiran in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. So let's look how the game goes. Topalov started with d4. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, Nimzo Indian defense. Actually, after bishop b4, many times a special imbalance will appear. So black will capture the knight and white captures back with the pawn, and that will create already two special imbalances. One will be the superior pawn structure for black, because there will be double pawns, so black will try to fix those pawns and try to win them. And what white gets for that, the white center will be strengthened by the c3 pawn, plus white will have the pair of bishops versus a bishop and a knight. So both players would have something, an advantage and also disadvantage, and we will look which can use better his advantage and how can neutralize the opponent's advantage. Bishop b4, e3, b6, bishop d3, bishop b2, knight f3, castling, castling, d5, a3, bishop d6. So the basic development of the pieces are nearly finished. Bishop, yeah, look, this bishop is kind of undeveloped and also really limited, and the knight also. C takes d5, he takes d5, b4, knight b d7, b5, knight e4, bishop b2, protecting the knight and developing the bishop, rook e8, a4, rook e6. Probably black is ready maybe to create some attack against the king, knight e2, a5. And this is the starting point of the first discussion. Yeah, maybe if you are watching this, then just pause the video a little bit and think about what are the different advantages and disadvantages for white and for black, and what plan can be executed for both sides. So let's discuss a little bit. One which I would already see in the very first view when I would see it's like the e4 knight is quite a nice knight. An outpost defended by the d5 pawn, so that's a plus for, I think, for black. If you look already like a plus for white is the c7 pawn, because that's a backward pawn which can be attacked on the c5 by the major pieces, by rooks and maybe by the queen. What other factors may be critical here? Space, yeah, white has some space advantage on the queen side. Yeah, his pawns are much more advanced than the black pawns. Yeah, we already discussed this backward pawn to weakness. If blacks manage to play some like c6 or c5 and we exchange for the b pawn, that would leave actually the b6 pawn as a backward pawn, and even the b5 square will be also like a whole or weak square, can be used maybe for white knight or white bishop. Actually, the d5 pawn is also a weakness. It's not an isolated pawn, but it's kind of like an isolated pawn. There's no more e pawn, and the c pawn cannot actually defend it anymore, or theoretically it can, but white probably will always capture, and then it will be left d5 as a real isolated pawn. Okay, what else we can see here? Yes, he said the knight is really strong on e4. The d6 bishop is looking for the king side, the knight is looking to the king side. The rook on e6 may be ready to go to g6 or h6 to create an attack against the white king. As we said, the b7 bishop is really a tall pawn, kind of. It has its purpose, so it defends the d5 pawn, which is good, but other way it has no real scope and cannot do much. Also, it's like this bishop is attacking, and it also protects the c7 weak pawn, so this bishop has a very important role. And yeah, one more important thing, like this bishop on b2 is really passive, yeah, because it's blocked by the fixed pawns on e3 and d2. And if we are knowing these kind of imbalances and have in mind, that can give us already actually a game plan. Yeah, because if you know this one, like white to move here, what to do, like yeah, there is this weak pawn on c7, so the plan can be to attack that pawn, plus this d6 bishop is a strong bishop, it's an attacking bishop and also good defending. Our b2 bishop is a bad bishop, so exchanging those, that makes really improves the white situation. So play bishop a3, because that was also his worst piece for this important d6 bishop. c8, bishop takes d6, c takes d6. Okay, now the situation a little bit changed, the pawn structure changed. There's no more backward pawn on c7, but black has those double pawns on d6 and d5, double isolated pawns, so they can be maybe a target in the future. They cannot really target for rooks, yeah, because the file is open, but they can be maybe a target for minor pieces or for the queen later. Of course, rook takes d6 was also possible, but that would left the c7 pawn a target forever. Plus, when captured, the pawn also covers the e5 square, so there is no more jump for the knight on e5 with knight e5. Okay, so let's look. So we captured this way, yeah. Then rook c1. Yeah, another imbalance which appeared on the game is the open file. Open file, as we said. So that was an advantage for black for one moment, but white just played rook c1 to neutralize that imbalance. Rook c1, knight df6. h3, covering the g4 square, so the knight cannot continue to attack there. Yeah, Topalov annotated this game in the New in Chess magazine. It's a great magazine. I suggest you to check out if you are interested in good study material or just interested about chess world and news. Like he discussed here that this position is really more about positional factors and not about calculation, and it was clear for him, like after exchanging the rooks on the file, those pawns d6 and d5 will be a target. Okay, so rook e7, queen b3, h6, rook takes rook, queen takes rook, rook c1, rook c7. Rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and queen c2. Okay, and here, yeah, Topalov said his plan would be, or his ideas would be to later, after exchange the queen, play c3 to force this strong knight away, put the bishop to b3, and then try to start to pressurize the d5 pawn. And this is already a plan, actually, and this based on the imbalances of the pawn structure, yeah, which one of the imbalances which will be discussed deeper in the book later, and which we looked at an example already, I think, probably in the first session. Yeah, that's clear. So you try to fix, if there is an isolated pawn or W, you try to fix them and then try to attack them. So you try to drive your pieces to the spots where you can attack them. So that's clear how that plan happens. So queen e7, yeah, black wants to keep the queens on the board. Queen c1. Yeah, the e3 will be probably with the weakness after f3, so white is already preparing by protecting that. g6, knight h2, king g7, h4. Yeah, actually this controls the g5 square, so the knight cannot go back. It's f3 already threatening to win the knight. Knight e8, yeah, he gives a square for the other knight. f3, knight f6, knight f1. Yeah, repositioning the knight to a better square, and also it's freeing the queen, so not need to. It's better to use the queen for attacking attacks than just pure defensive ones. Okay, let's look what will happen after this. Knight f1 was the last move. h5, knight f4. Yeah, the pressurizing starts, attacking the d5 pawn. Knight d7. Probably was better to just keep it here. Just playing knight c7, knight e6 to trying to exchange one of the attackers. It should only attacker currently, but probably will be more. Played knight e7, queen e1, knight f8, queen g6. Look, the queen is repositioned. And Topalov is true to himself, so actually he still in the endgame he is thinking about attacks. So not only about positional weaknesses and attacking, but try to use like a little bit pieces to attack the king, like knight takes h5 is a threat now. Queen g3, king h6. Yes, and this was a turning point of the game, or critical point, that's the better word, where white could decide if to continue the original slow chess and attack against this pawn, or playing a more aggressive approach. And yeah, because that's Topalov's original style, to play aggressive chess and attacking chess, he here decided to go for the aggressive and tactical approach. But also it was possible to play king f2 to protect the pawn with the king, and then repositioning this knight to d2, b1, c3 to increase the pressure on d5. Okay, and then let's just quickly look the remaining moves of the game, which is yeah, different from what we are discussing. So it's not about planning, but it will be much more about tactical and calculation, tactics and calculation. Oh, this would be nice, you know, if king takes h5, then actually queen f win. Queen f4 wins immediately with, because knight g3 threat is undealable. Probably queen takes g4, so it will be a checkmate in a few moves. Queen f4, so he's forced to capture with the pawn. Queen g8. Actually, we can still think about a little bit about the different imbalances, because this is about king safety now. That's king safety and initiative. Those two imbalances comes to play here. Yeah, sacrifice a piece for checkmate threats. That's interesting. And also weak squares, like the f5 square is weak, so maybe like a knight would be really extremely strong there. We will look what's going on here. Queen g8, f5, knight g3. Actually, this is interesting. This is hanging. Oh, other than the f8 will be hanging. So yeah, this is a complicated position. We will not go to much of the details here. Knight g7, bishop takes f5, knight g6, bishop takes g6, king takes g6, knight takes h5. Wow, wow, wow! So many beautiful moves by Topalov. This is really exciting. Yeah, if king would capture, then queen h7 checkmate. Wow, beautiful one. Okay, so queen takes e3, king h2. Probably black should capture the d4 pawn here, and most likely this would be a draw if everything played well. But probably there will be like a perpetual check against the king, and it's probably not more. But he made a mistake here. Played queen e7, knight f4 check, king f6, g4, queen f7, queen d8 check, queen e7, queen g8, queen f7. He made a few moves, probably to regain time. Capture, capture, and yeah, this is interesting. Probably capturing on b6 was even stronger, because that would give another pass pawn for white. Capture, capture, and this is an interesting position because there are 3 connected pass pawns against the bishop, and yeah, 2 pawns, but those pawns are blocked. 1 pawn blocks 2. King takes e7, king g3, knight e6, knight e6, knight takes, king takes f4, bishop c8, f5, king f7, h5. So white puts the pawns first on the bishop cover, so it's really limiting the bishop, and so he cannot move between the pawns to block them. Bishop d7, h6, king g8, king f4, the king comes to help. Bishop e8, king g5, king f7, h7. Interesting. So sacrificing the pawn for the penetration. Bishop takes b5, king e7, bishop d3, f6, bishop g6, f7, bishop takes f7, king takes f7. Wow, So it was a nice example how to use the imbalance of better pawn structure. In the beginning, how to build up a plan, and then it changed the subject in the end of the game. But as you look like, which was our like kind of starting position, it really made easy to us to create a plan. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you learned a few new things, and we'll see you soon in another session. Bye bye.